Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Monday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, I've been on a brief hiatus because your boy has been going through it since the new year, suffering from a stint of the flu and family dealing with COVID. My daughter been in the hospital with pneumonia. So I appreciate any positive vibrations y'all can send towards me. And that's why I've been gone, because y'all know I do not duck the smoke, as the Lakers have been in a downward trend. We know going into last night's game, I think they were 3-10 or 2-10 in the last 12 games, seeking to avoid going 3-10 in the final 13 games. And they were able to do so, as we know by now, as the Lakers prevailed over their crosstown rivals, the Los Angeles Clippers, by the score of 106-103. And we got a lot to talk about because leading up into this, I've been too sick, man, but I've been wanting to talk about Darvin Ham, some of his coaching decisions, the Miami game and some of the other games as the Lakers have been on this downward trend. But you know what? Just like my sickness that I want to wash away, I want to wash away all that too. You know, the Lakers had a good win on yesterday. I think it's something they can build on. One thing I do want to say is, though, I think a lot of times Lakers fans and LeBron fans get a little impatient because they expect championships and nothing but greatness from that franchise and from that particular player, because that is what they have always gotten used to, because that is the type of quality that the Lakers have given us throughout the years, and that is the type of quality that LeBron James has given us throughout the years as well. But at the end of the day, you know, like Darvin Ham did say the other day, it is a marathon and not a sprint. Although I will just have to shake my head at some of the bonehead decisions that he has made. We can maybe talk about that at the end of the show if we have time. But for now, let's just focus on the game on yesterday, man. And before I can get into anything else, the first thing I wanted to talk about was the highlight. And I saw it live when it happened right there as I was watching on League Pass on yesterday, when LeBron James came on that break and he dunked from damn near the free throw line, and he told Paul George to look out below. If you can see it right here, man, LeBron James just really took flight, and the look on James Harden's face behind it is hilarious, just because he's just like, man, you're 21, you know, still able to do that. And I don't care who your favorite player is. Nobody has done this in year 21. Nobody has done that even in year 20. Just the athleticism that LeBron James continues to put forward. And I do want to touch on real quick the 12-point performance that he had a few games ago. Everybody was so quick to say, see, he's old, he's trash, that's it. You know, as if he couldn't go out and have a bad game. And as LeBron walked off the court that day, he probably felt the way I felt the past week or so. Very congested, not feeling well, who knows? But at the end of the day, he made it through and has turned the corner and started to play good again. He had one down game. Hey, that's to be expected from anybody at any time. We're not going to talk about other people's favorite players who are at that point in their career who had a game where they scored only 2 points and played 40 minutes. But, you know, that's a topic for another day. But anyway, that dunk by LeBron James, man, was nothing short of amazing. And I think it really ignited the crowd, because as you can see, you know, when the crowd really got into it, I mean, they cheered for almost a whole minute. Even after he got the free throw, people were amazed. The Laker teammates was amazed. And for him to be able to do that at that age, man, it's nothing short of spectacular. And I want to tell you what, because, you know, the way Harden was looking, speaking of Harden, it was kind of funny that Harden himself was, you know, just had something to say as far, well, when they asked LeBron James after the game about this new look James Harden's Clippers. And LeBron James was very quick to point out and said, James Harden's Clippers? He said, no, this is this is Ty Lue's Clippers, because he gives all the credit to Ty Lue. And I'm not saying maybe he doesn't have a deal of respect for James Harden, but obviously he's no LeBron James. And there will be no other LeBron James, as we all know, because there's not too many people that can do the things that LeBron James do at his size and be able to get downhill the way he does athletically. But I just had to point that out, because I don't know. Put in the comments, do you think there was shade at James Harden by LeBron saying, hey, this is not a James Harden? And I don't think the interviewer was, you know, during the question he was asking, was he just alluding to that it was James Harden's team? I think he was saying this new look James Harden's Clippers, because he's a new player and a new addition to the team, and how they turned it around, because we all know the Lakers and the Clippers kind of trade place over the last month. The Lakers went on a downward trend and the Clippers went on an upward trend. And you had the Clippers being 12-2 in the last 14 games, probably the best record in the NBA during that stretch. Been playing some outstanding basketball, so you got to give it up for LeBron. And we're not even just talking about the dunk, but LeBron James was everywhere on the court last night. He played outstanding defense. And if you take a look at this number, when he guarded Kawhi on yesterday, Kawhi was 0 from 5 from the field. And I noticed that the Lakers did a lot of switching on yesterday. And I like that they like to blitz as well. But when they switch because of their length with the new lineup that they've been using, they can switch pretty much on anybody, because even if they come up, say Zubac at the center, or whether it's a 4 or 5 comes up and set the pick, they switch. Now you got LeBron James on who can handle the 4 or 5. Now you got a Vando. You got all these Lakers with size and strength and athleticism who can handle the switch no matter who it is. So Kawhi was doing everything in his power to get LeBron James switched off of him last night. And when he got him switched off, it didn't matter, because if he switched off LeBron, he had AD waiting on him. Sometimes he switched off LeBron, you got Vando waiting on you. So either way it goes, Taurean Prince, a good defender. Cam Reddish, a good defender. And I want to talk some about Cam Reddish as well here. He did hit a couple of threes, I think, in that second or third quarter when the Lakers started to go on a bit of a run. But at the end of the day, man, I'm just going to be honest. I know he's a few inches taller than a Max Christie, but I would rather see Max Christie in that starting lineup only because I believe in Max Christie's ability to shoot the three-point ball. Whereas Cam Reddish, he's been given ample opportunity. I'm not sure what he's shooting on the season, but it can't be that good. He had a couple of games, and we do know that one game, when LeBron James kept giving him the confidence to shoot. But at the end of the day, it hasn't been falling. And that's another thing I want to talk about, the comments that LeBron said about his son, Bronny, playing. We'll talk about that at the end of this next segment. But let me continue on about the game. So at the end of the day, LeBron James, led his team on yesterday, 25, 8, and 7. That's 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. Probably would have had more assists if some of these Lakers players could hit open shots, where LeBron James continuously breaks down defenses and gives them the opportunity. But LeBron James himself, second most minutes on the team on yesterday, 38 minutes. AD actually played 39 minutes on yesterday. LeBron 1 from 3 from three-point line, 33%. But then you look at AD and LeBron both combined for pretty decent numbers. AD didn't have a monstrous game, but he had 22, 10, and 1. He was 10 out of 15 from the field. That's 67%. So that's a pretty good clip, but only taking 15 shots. I would like to see AD at least get 20 shots a game. AD needs to get at least 20 shots a game because he's shooting over 50%. He's, shooting damn near 60%. So with that being said, if he's getting 20 shots a game, he's going to have more points. And that is something that the Lakers definitely need, especially when you can get easy buckets down low. LeBron James himself was 11 out of 19, 58%. Not a bad clip considering 3 of his 19 shots was from behind the arc. Austin Reeves did not have a good game on yesterday. Austin Reeves, who the past 7 or 8 games has been having tremendous games, had 12 assists in the last game against the Grizzlies, been scoring over 20, 21, 22 points the past 7 or 8 games, coming into his own. But on yesterday, Austin Reeves struggled, only 8 points, didn't have any rebounds, only 2 assists. He was 2 from 5, 2 of 5 altogether, just for 40%. You would think Austin Reeves would get more than 5 shots, but it just wasn't. He wasn't getting a whole lot of opportunity. But the Clippers were playing excellent defense. Austin Reeves was a -4 from the game in the 32 minutes that he was in. I know people want to say D'Lo came in and hit 2 big shots. Man, I am not trying to hear it. I am not on that D'Lo bandwagon. I'm telling you. I've been saying it all year as far as DAngelo Russell is concerned. He just doesn't have the skill. I won't say skill. He doesn't have the strength and athleticism to break down defenses. He's not that great in the pick and roll as he could be. You would much rather see a LeBron James AD pick and roll than a D'Lo AD pick and roll. Although D'Lo did show some vision at times on yesterday, and he did, I think, break down the defense once and got to the basket for a layup. So that will happen from time to time. But when D'Lo gets in, he doesn't really have a floater game like a Mike Conley or, some of the other point guards who can just float the ball over taller defenders. So it's really not in his repertoire. You don't see him do that a whole lot. I like him as a standstill shooter when he's coming off the bench and LeBron throwing him for an open shot. I really don't like him as an off-the-dribbler shooter. But at the end of the day, he made some big shots down the stretch. And maybe that caused Darvin Ham to want him back in. And I know he was kind of rotating D'Lo in and putting Vando in on defensive possessions when he could, closer towards the end of the game. And I was really irate when he was putting D'Lo back in during crunch time, because if you look at it, even if you look at D'Lo performance on yesterday, 5 out of 14, that is putrid. 5 out of 14, 35%, 3 from 9 from the 3. He was a +5 during the time that he was in there, so you do got to give him props for that. But Christian Wood, to me, has been earning, to me, more minutes. And I think when Rui Hachimura gets back into the fold, I like Jackson Hayes' play, but at the end of the day, maybe use him for injury situations. This way, what Darvin Ham needs to do is nail down the 9 to 10 man rotation. Nail that down. And I think Max Christie needs to be a part of that. And Darvin Ham has been saying he needs to find minutes for Max Christie. He needs to find minutes for Max Christie. Well, with the injuries to Rui Hachimura, he's been able to do so. I think Max Christie has been playing great. I think Max Christie plays good defense. I personally think Max Christie, even though he's a younger player, I have faith in him over Cam Reddish, even though Cam Reddish has been playing outstanding defense. I don't want to take that away from him, but that's why we have Vando. And one thing that I had to get on to Ham about is he has not been consistent with lineups. And I know there's been injuries and rotation, things like that. But at the end of the day, what happened last year? You had a lineup that was very successful that you still really haven't even seen this year. And you have these players available. And I still hadn't seen them as a starting lineup once since Vanderbilt has been back. And we know what lineup that was down the stretch that got the Lakers on that run, that got them past the play-in and eventually to the Western Conference Finals. And that was, even though as much as I don't like D'Lo, but at some point you're paying the man right now up until the trade deadline, which is, coming up here next month or so. But you had somebody like in that starting lineup, you had D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Vando, LeBron, AD. I've yet to see that. I hadn't seen that too much. Come on, Darvin Ham. You need to get together. He keeps changing offensive philosophies, defensive philosophies. I'm not seeing the continuity that needs to be there. Hopefully this win will kind of just get them the charge and the boost that they need to get things turned around. Sometimes that's all you need. Just like sometimes a shooter just need the ball to go into the basket. Once they see the ball go into the basket, next thing you know, they develop confidence. And I think that's what the Lakers did last night, because they beat a pretty good team. But I've been saying for a mighty long time, if you've been a subscriber to this channel, that the NBA is all about matchups and it's all about runs usually. But matchups is key. So the Lakers actually match up well against the Clippers, as you can see on yesterday. Christian Wood, like I said, had a phenomenal game for the few minutes that he did play. Only played 16 minutes. He was 4-6, 66%. He was a +7. Had 10 boards. So, that's good. Kawhi Leonard, on the other hand, held 6 out of 17, only 35%. Lakers did a phenomenal job of switching, a phenomenal job of closing out on three-point shooters. Paul George in 38 minutes only had 22 points, only shot 44% from the field. Russell Westbrook came in, did not play a phenomenal game at all. He was very limited in his minutes, as he should have been. He only played 19 minutes as a -12, and we can see why the Los Angeles Lakers did not need him to be a starter in their lineup, because as you can see, even on the Clippers, he has been relegated to the bench, and they had him, but they knew they had to go out and get somebody else, and that's why they went out and got James Harden. So unfortunately for Westbrook, I'm not sure how much longer he would even be a starter in the NBA, because the past 2 years, I don't think he's been a starter. So that just shows you how much you should appreciate a LeBron James, because look at his age. Look at Westbrook and LeBron James at his age 39, man. That man pushing 40 years old and still able to do the things that he does, man. It just doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, man, I just feel like, LeBron James gets hated on way too many times for no reason. Whether you have him, if you think Jordan is your GOAT, that's fine. I think Jordan is the second greatest basketball player of all time. Is that a crime? That's just my opinion. We all have that, and you can all respect anybody's opinion. But the haterism that I talk about is when people say he's not even in the top 10. Like, I can't even debate anybody who thinks LeBron James is not in the top 10. I can't debate anybody who thinks that Kobe Bryant is not in the top 10. Like, what have you been watching? What do you even know about basketball? Are you just regurgitating what you heard somebody else say? Or have you actually watching this yourself? I watched Michael Jordan's entire career. I had WB, fam. I watched all the games. Who didn't? It was Michael Jordan. But that's something we could talk about on another day, man. I just had to give mad love to the Lakers on yesterday for winning that game. The Lakers next up tomorrow take on the Toronto Raptors, and I look forward to that game. Toronto's been playing well since that trade of OG. Y'all know, I'm not even going to try to say it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That's who I want the Lakers to get. But the Knicks have been playing well since that trade as well. So at the end of the day, the Lakers need to get victories. The Lakers had one of the toughest schedules in the league to start off, had the most back-to-backs, played like 7 back-to-back games this year already. Played more games than other teams already, but they're in the friendly confines of the crypto.com arena for the most part all year long. I'm sorry, for all month long in January. I think they only have to go on the road once against Utah. Then they're back at home again. They have several home stances. So we look forward to the Lakers taking on Toronto on tomorrow night. It's not going to be a gimme game. Toronto, I think, smacked the mess out of Golden State on yesterday. And we could talk more about Golden State and their trial. I saw some people saying this is the end of an era for Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry as they sit at the bottom 9th, 10th, and 11th in the conference. And I tell you like this, it may be an end of an era for the Warriors. I think when they get Draymond Green back, they'll get a charge and they get back better. But it's some disgruntled players like Kuminga and other people in their locker room that I'm not really going to focus on. But it might be an end of the era for them. But it damn ain't no end of the era for LeBron James and these Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm telling y'all right now, the Lakers going to get it together. They might make one little move to tweak this lineup. What it is that they can somehow get rid of D'Lo and get a real true point guard. Should have just kept Schroeder for way less money. At least he provided on-ball defense and can do pretty much the same thing that DAngelo Russell could do, and he was very integral to their run last year. So I don't understand the philosophy of keeping D'Lo over Dennis Schroeder, but it is what it is. But a conversation for another day. For everybody who stuck with me, man, I appreciate y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell if you haven't done so already so you can have the notifications on. And as always, man, this has been your boy, Be New. I'm saying right on to the real and much love to these haters. I'm out.